Hey everybody, Garcia here. Today we're going to be taking a look at a trick-taking game in which you travel through time and play 3 tricks at the same time. This is Ghosts of Christmas. Ghosts of Christmas here is one of those trick-taking games in which you are going to predict how many tricks you think you are going to take from a hand of 12 cards. And then you will play them out and see how many indeed you do take. But there's a big twist, and that is you're playing 3 of them at the same time into the past, the present, and the future. And the way they are resolved once everything is played out is kind of tricky. Let me show you how the game works, or attempt to show you how the game works, and I'll see you on the other side. To set up the game, we are going to give each player a strip of tokens here that say past, present, and future with their color at the front of the past strip here. And then we are going to shuffle up the deck and give every player 12 cards. This is a setup for 4 players, by the way. Some cards are removed for 3 players. We've got these 3 face-down dials over here for past, present, and future, as listed there. The scoreboard and the player tokens. Then there's also these wreaths and the top hat that denotes the start player. I should point out these wreaths, these wooden wreaths, and the wooden top hat are upgrade pieces. These are normally cardboard pieces, but it's a minor upgrade, all right? And then we are ready to begin. We are going to do this, shuffling and dealing every player 12 cards, once per player in the game, so 4 times in this case. And at the end of that, whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. Once everyone has their 12 cards, you're going to look at them. And these cards are suited, so there's 4 different suits, with the hearts always being a trump suit, beating all the other ones. Everyone will look at their cards and decide how many tricks they think they're going to take, and then we will do this in turn order. So these players have finished taking their bids, their predicted tricks, and they will have one of 2 things in front of them. Either a certain number of purple doors, or a certain number of purple doors and 1 red door. Or you could also take just a single red door. But never more than 1 red. And what you are saying is, I'm going to take this many tricks. So in this case, this player here took 4 purple doors. If after all 12 of these cards have been played, I indeed have taken 4 tricks, and for each one I take, by the way, I'll put a wreath on the door. Then I am going to score 2 points per door. If I have too many doors or too many wreaths, then I get nothing. If you took a red one, you're giving yourself a little wiggle room, but you are doing so at the cost of possible victory points. This player here, with 3 purples and 1 red, is saying they will take 3 or 4 tricks. And if they do that, then they're going to get 1 point per trick. So if they take 3, they'll get 3 points. If they take 4, they'll get 4 points. Okay? So either one of those bids would count as winning, meaning the red one does not need to have a wreath on it for you to score some points. And then once that's done, then we will start playing, starting from the start player with the top hat. So here's how that works. The player is going to play a card to one of the 3 positions in front of them. If it's the first one played of that suit, or rather in that spot, then you are going to grab the corresponding dial and set it to match that suit. So yellow for the past. And that means anyone else now who plays into the past spot has to follow that suit if they can. Otherwise, they can play anything they want to. So this player now could play into the past, and they would have to play one of these yellow cards. Or they could play into one of the other places that doesn't yet have a decided suit. And it could even be yellow as well. Let's say they are going to play this card right here, and they will do so in the present. So now we go to the present dial, and we will set that to the corresponding suit, like so. This player over here might follow suit there. Maybe that's what they'll do. They'll play in there. So they don't mess with any of these. The suit for that has already been decided. And then this player will go. Perhaps they will play, let's see, they have no yellow. Actually, they have 1 yellow. And let's say they want to try to win that first trick. So perhaps they'll throw this into the future. Now the future is also yellow. So we'll set that one. They've all now been decided. So all the players will continue taking turns until all 3 of these spots are filled for everyone. Now that all the players are done with that step, we will resolve the tricks in chronological order. So looking at the past one first, starting with whoever has the top hat. Once you get to this step, by the way, you can ignore these dials. They will no longer matter. So let's go ahead and do that. Starting from over here, we assume that this player leads this 10 yellow. That player follows suit. That one follows, but this one did not. They didn't have yellow when they played here. And because red is the trump suit, these hearts, they win this trick. And they are going to capture all of these cards and have one trick that they won, taking a wreath, putting it on one of their doors. And that's done. We can discard those. And then the top hat moves to whoever just won. So their card then is considered the card that is led. That might change the order of what's going on. I'll show you that in 1 second. So they lead this, followed. This player wins here. And they are going to, again, take these cards. You can discard them. And they take a wreath. Then they are the ones who are leading. And here's where this might change the order of things. Let's say this player, instead of having played yellow here, they played a blue card there. And they did it because somebody else set the future color to yellow, but they had no yellow. Because they knew they would win the present trick, now in the future we are considering then that blue was led first, and everyone else did not follow suit, so they would win that third trick. If anyone else leads that third trick, then this player wins. No matter if they lead, or this player themselves lead, this player wins. But if they lead, that's theirs, because no one else played blue or red, which would also do it, okay? Once that's done, so let's say that was indeed the case there. Once that's done, then we do it again, with the players using the 9 remaining cards in hand to start playing and setting these to the corresponding colors, and then resolving all the tricks in order. Again, we play 4 hands of 12 cards, and at the end of that, whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. Right away, my main takeaway here from the game is twofold. One, this is a clever but unintuitive trick-taking game. It stands out, but it's hard to wrap your head around. And secondly, the second thing is that this is definitely not for the uninitiated. I think this is a trick-taking game for trick-taking fans, and looking for something different, looking for something innovative even, just outside the box a little bit. Let's go ahead and break it down. Starting from the top, the theme and the setting is pretty good. It's a pleasant theme, it's attractive, and I think it's a pretty decent fit for what's going on in the game. The Christmassy theme, this was a re-theme from the original sort of time travel concept, but it works in this one. It gives you both a reason for the past, present, future bit, and it adds in some nice artwork with that. So you got a nice cross-section there of things going on that, again, don't hurt and fit pretty well for what's basically sort of an abstract trick-taking game, as most of them are. The aesthetics, I think, are good. The cards are nice and legible, easy to spot across a table what everyone's played. The entire card is the color of the suit it is, so I like that ability to just glance and see what's going on. Pieces are nice. Again, the cardboard pieces that you didn't see are perfectly fine. Wooden pieces are thicker, nicer, sure, but I wouldn't say you need them. This is not one of those things that you need to fix for the original included piece. It's fine. Replay value is good. The game definitely has a learning curve, like I said. I think the rulebook does a decent job. It is quite a small rulebook. They tried to cram everything in here on literally just that much. So it's 4 pages, basically. You need to make sure you are reading all of it. Read the part that looks like you could dismiss it because it's in a text box. You want to read all of that. But it does a decent job of explaining what's going on. There's also, which helps replayability, 2 other modes you can play with. There is what they call the Tiny Tim mode, in which you do not bid, you just play out. and then you want to take no more than 7 tricks. You'll score points for taking up to 6 tricks. More than that, you'll lose points. And then there's also the beyond mode, in which you have past, present, future, and beyond. And you'll play 4 cards out and score those in the usual way. And so from a hand of 12, you just do that 3 times instead of 4 times playing 3 cards. Okay? Which is good. That works out just fine. Game arc, I think, is okay. Each hand has gets more interesting as the players sort of call and shape the cards they've got left in their hand. I think 4 hands in a 4-player game can be a little long. The game only plays 3 or 4. So there's that too to consider. That's a lot of trick-taking games, to be fair, but sometimes you do find some that can go up to 5, that can give you a 2-player mode. That is not a thing in this one. It's 3, and you remove a few cards, or 4, which is probably what I would recommend. All right. The ease of play gets a thumbs down from me. The game is, generally speaking, unintuitive. It's just something I would not recommend unless someone I was teaching to was already what I consider a trick-taking expert. They've played a lot of them. They understand the ins and outs of trump suit, leading, following, because you're going to take all of that information and not ignore it, but modify a lot of it. A lot of your understanding of a trick-taking game, you need to subvert that to understand this. I would not use this ever to teach someone what trick-taking was, because it's just so different than what you would think, So it is tricky to learn. It is a hard one to wrap your mind around, when you need to check the dials, when you can ignore the dials, and the biggest one of all is if someone wins one of these 3 or 4 programmed tricks, then they are leading the next one from whatever card is in front of them. That's bizarre and neat and, again, innovative, but very unintuitive. And then lastly, tactics, luck, and strategy I think are okay. The way things play out, or will play out in a hand, can be hard to see, hard to decipher. You need to be familiar with this game to start picking up on these things and noticing patterns, noticing when you have enough cards that you could short yourself a suit or 2 and then play somewhere you've been holding back on and win that, assuming you can win the one right before it. There's all of that to wrap your head around. And then on top of that, I think the scoring in this game really lacks nuance. The scoring is a bit of the game feels like a well-balanced, carefully crafted souffle, and then the scoring is like, pound cake. So it's this all or nothing. The red door does a little bit to alleviate that, but the hit you take to scoring is a punch to the face, right? So sometimes you just take the big risk. If I can get 5 tricks here, well, that's a little much. Let's say 4. If I can take 4 tricks, I'm going to get 8 points. If I choose for the red door, the best I can do is 4 points, or 3. But you get maybe 3 instead of nothing. Is that worth it? I think the punishment for that is a little much. And the all or nothing nature, even with the red door accounted for, is a little punishing, okay? So that's what I mean by that. The subtlety is in the rest of the game, not in the scoring. Having said all of that, there's a lot here to enjoy and explore for people who are already big fans of trick-taking games. I think for those folks, I would certainly recommend this one. This was is a small Japanese design that is reprinted now from BoardGameTables.com. New theme, lovely artwork, lovely production, available now much more easily. But yes, this is not an intro style game. This is one you want to already know what you're doing when you jump in and give it time to work its magic on you for you to understand what's going on until you quote unquote get it and can then really go to work with it, So for those folks, and I like it, but again, I know you got to pick and choose your moments. This is going to get from me a 7 out of 10. That is a seal of approval. with those caveats, that this is not just a blind buy. You want to know what you're getting. You want to play with people that know what they're getting into and understand these core concepts already so that they can deal with having them flipped on, on their top hat. So there you go, everybody. That is Ghosts of Christmas. 7 out of 10 from me, like I said. My name is Z Garcia. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.